Hi, Greg. Good to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, too.
So my question is, could an evolutionist refute the moral argument by showing that evolution can trick us into believing morality exists?
Well, you are very careful in the way you worded that, and the answer is maybe, given the way you worded it. If they could show that evolution could trick us into believing in objective morality, then our beliefs in objective morality have nothing to do with the way the world is. It just has to do with the way evolution has tricked us. Now, I know there is a philosopher who actually believes this, and he's a bright guy. When I say actually believes this, I'm not like subtext, this stupid idea. That's not what I mean. I mean, this is a point of view that Michael Ruse over at Florida State University, or one of the Florida U's, holds. And I've read his piece on this. And what he says is that evolution he's an atheist, and he believes in evolution. But he believes in objective morality. Now, I've got to put scare quotes around believes, because he says he believes in objective morality, but he has no basis for it. And the reason he believes in objective morality is he thinks that evolution has tricked us into believing in objective morality, or else morality wouldn't serve evolution's purpose. So, of course, we believe in objective morality in virtue of evolution, but since it's evolution, which is subjective, you're not going to have any grounding or basis for it, and he admits that too. Okay? So in a certain sense, Michael Ruse holds the view that you're describing, all right? But that doesn't mean that he's satisfied the requirements of your question. Okay? So let me make an observation about Michael Ruse, and then I want to speak more directly to your question. Okay? Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So doesn't it strike you as odd that Michael Ruse keeps switching hats? On the one hand, he's saying, I believe in objective morality. Then he switches his hats, and the reason I believe in it is because I've been tricked into believing it by evolution, because there really is no objective morality. There's no basis for it. But if we didn't believe in objective morality, then it wouldn't do evolution any good. But it's really just subjective. Okay, switch hats. Now, I am the product of my evolution, and I believe in objective morality. See what I'm saying? This sounds like a little goofy. What he is saying is there is no objective morality. I mean, let's be fair with this. There is no objective morality, because there is no basis for it, and that we are tempted to believe in objective morality is simply a function of our of our evolution, and therefore morality, in fact, is relative. Now that's Michael Ruse, the philosopher, speaking. He knows better. So it's like he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth, and I'm not trying to diss him. I'm just asking, how does that make sense? Really? So, but there's another problem. So that's the first observation. There is a guy who holds this, and he knows he's mistaken in his view, because he admits it. It's weird. Secondly, the question you asked is something to the effect of, if it could be shown that Darwinian evolution could create the illusion of objective morality.
Right.
Okay. We have never seen any accounting of any kind how Darwinian evolution can create any conscious state of mind of any sort, especially an illusion. Mm-hmm. Think of it, Darwinism is a materialistic concept. That means all that's going on is particles moving in different places. That's all it is. It's all material, top to bottom. It's just moving around, moving around, moving around, moving around. And some combinations of those molecules are such that they allow those same kind of combinations to be reproduced more than once, multiple times. How are you going to get by moving molecules around? I mean, this is just a matter of a conceptual experiment. Just reflect on it. You keep moving molecules and moving molecules and moving molecules in the physical realm. How is it going to create something in the non-physical realm to pop into existence, into reality? An illusion is a non-physical thing. It is when your consciousness is being appeared to falsely. Your consciousness has a false awareness. So now you have two things that evolution can't explain. It can't explain the awareness, and it can't explain the consciousness that has the false awareness, because consciousness itself is a type of awareness. But it's not physical. Neither of them are physical. Nor are moral obligations physical, nor are thoughts physical. They don't have any physical properties. They have propositional qualities, but not physical qualities. So I think the evolutionist is in a mess here because he can wave his wand to dismiss the argument from morality by saying, well, maybe evolution just caused us to have the illusion of objective morality. And my response is, no one has ever demonstrated how evolution can cause any kind of mental state. None. It's one of the most serious problems of evolution, and that is consciousness. And that's why Daniel Dennett, one of the new atheists, says consciousness is an illusion. Okay, do you see the problem there?
Right.
I'm not sure. Was that right? I agree. Right? I see. Right? No, I hear you talking. What? I'm not sure where you're at with that, because I have another problem with this whole approach too. In a minute, if I can remember it now, it's slipping my mind. But this is.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so okay. Here's the other difficulty. It just came back to me. So the first one is that Daniel Dennett seems to be aware that he's being deluded. If you know that you're being deluded, then you're not being deluded. Is that fair?
Right.
Okay, so that's the first problem. Second problem is Darwinian evolution cannot produce an immaterial state. Nobody has ever shown that. Mm-hmm. It is one of the single largest problems with Darwinism, and this is why a professor from New York University named Thomas Nagel wrote a smallish book called Mind and Cosmos, and the subtitle is The Materialistic Darwinian View of the Universe is Almost Certainly False, or something to that effect. And it's because, and he's an atheist, it's because it can't account for consciousness. Okay? Here's the third problem, though. If evolution is causing an illusion of objective morality, it's causing us to believe a falsehood, essentially. Is that fair?
Right. That's the argument.
What other falsehoods is evolution causing us to believe? Do you realize that if you... Pardon me?
So this argument proves too much.
Exactly. It consumes itself. The minute we acknowledge that evolution can cause us now, notice the language, can cause us to believe falsehoods, and I don't think evolution can cause us to believe anything. I have no reason to believe that. But if it's stipulated it can cause us to believe illusions, then how can we trust anything we think we know? And Alvin Plantinga has famously brought this up. I say famously because he's a famous guy, and when he says it, then everybody quotes him. But a lot of other people have thought the same thing. See the problem?
Right.
So
even our ability to reason goes out the window.
It's gone. It's all because of an accidental process which does not have truth in view. Because natural selection doesn't select for truth; it selects for survival.
Right.
So this way of thinking is bad or wrong or compromised in about 4 different directions. and each one of them, each one is fatal. So I'm not the least impressed. So you have to be careful when atheists offer counterfactuals. Well, what if this, and if this, then this? Well, you can if anything you want. You can stipulate anything you want, but you got to justify the if. What if it caused us to believe in objective morality and evolution did that? Well, then it did, according to your stipulation. But can it? I've seen no reason why it can. And if it can, then it throws all of the rest of our knowledge, including our knowledge of evolution, into question. That's the horns of the dilemma for your atheist buddy.
Right. So someone making this argument, A, probably doesn't actually believe they're in an illusion. B, if they do think they're in an illusion, then evidently the illusion failed. C, their argument's probably a just-so story. And D, if it's not a just-so story and evolution can produce that stuff, what grounds do we have to be talking?
Yeah, you got it. There you go. And by the way, it's not an argument. You've used that term a bunch of times. It's not an argument. It's an assertion. To say that evolution has caused us to believe the illusion of objective morality is a conclusion. It is not an argument because there is no argument offered. It's simply the assertion that it's so, with a what if added to it to create doubt. Well, if one doesn't have any good reasons to believe it's so, it happened that way. What are these reasons by which you come to the conclusion that evolution has done this? Well, there's no argument, and so there's nothing to deal with. And so this sounds like a Peter Boghossian kind of move to me. I don't know where you had first heard this, Ryan, but Boghossian is fond of raising questions that are conditionals. Well, if X, Y, Z, then your view is wrong. Oh my gosh, you got me there. I mean, people think that because they don't know how to answer the conditional because he says the conditional as if it's actual or at least probable. But if it's not actual or probable, there's no reason to think it, then we don't have to worry about the fulfillment of that condition, if then, and this is what they have to do for us. That's why I said at the beginning when you raised the question, well, if they can show such and so, they might have a point. But now you got this problem, and you got this problem, you got this problem. And by the way, there's no reason to believe that it can do that. That's the just so story that you mentioned. So from what I could tell, you're on top of this. Is this a friend of yours that raised the issue? Or somebody you met on the street, or how did this come down the pike to you?
No, this is really just me just reflecting on
I see.
The moral argument and how to make sure that link between our sense of morality existing and the fact of morality existing is strong.